Hello everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 and welcome to another edition of the Batman Beyond review series. And today I am here once again to provide an audio commentary watch along for another episode from the show's first season, and this one is simply called Shriek, another favourite episode of mine from season 1. Now, this episode, for the most part, was very enjoyable. There was some really nice callbacks to the old show, and this introduced us to a very unique villain, and that was Shriek. And his gimmick was he is able to create ultra sound waves which enable him to knock down buildings and move different objects very aggressively, and he's able to cancel all sound going on around him. He's able to block out sound and pretty much mute everything like an on and off switch, which I think is very interesting. And I thought this episode did a brilliant job in presenting Shriek as a dangerous threat because you think about it, a guy like Shriek doesn't necessarily have to, jump on you from behind. He can just cancel all the sound around you and you wouldn't even be able to hear his footsteps. That's quite a frightening villain in itself, somebody you can't even hear coming up behind you. A very scary situation. And think about this as well. If you wanted to rob a bank, just switch the sound of the alarm off and just walk in, take what he wants, and leaves, and no one would be none the wiser. So that makes him a very different kind of villain. And he's not a physical threat. He's not what you would call a brawler. But Shriek is very smart, very tech savvy, and at the same time, a very unique villain. I don't think we've ever had a villain like this in a Batman cartoon. If anybody can point out and let me know if there has been any sound type of villains, please do let me know because I don't think we've ever had someone like this before. So, this episode marked the second time that we saw Terry McGinnis really put on his detective head and putting together different clues and trying to solve the mystery behind who Shriek really is and how he created his tech. And this was a good episode simply for the fact that this was the first time Terry had to actually work on his own without Bruce Wayne's guidance due to him being physically incapacitated. And I liked it. This show from the beginning could have easily been a Bruce Wayne show, but I liked what they did where Bruce Wayne still plays an important role, but the producers really wanted to make a point that, okay, Bruce Wayne is still the man. He's still got all the knowledge. He's got all the experience. He's training and guiding and mentoring this new guy as Batman, but really made him take a step back and let Terry McGinnis be his own Batman rather than just being Batman in training, so to speak. So he's not just playing the part of Batman. Terry McGinnis is Batman, but just different. And I like that with this episode. I thought they did an amazing job and really showing that Terry is coming into his own as a crime fighter. And we even got to see our beloved Bat Hound, Ace, play a nice little part in this story. Who doesn't love Bat Hound? I mean, Ace is awesome. He's one of the originals from the Batman comics, and they brought him back for Batman Beyond, and they really made Ace not just a harmless little dog from the comics. He kind of look like an angry Scooby Doo. He's very aggressive, but at the same time, Ace is very loyal. And, we always say that the team is Bruce Wayne and Terry McGinnis. We can include Ace as well. He's part of the team. Even if he's a dog, he's still an important ally to have. And he really comes through for Terry in a big way. And that wouldn't be the last time we would see that. We would see Terry and Ace really develop a good, strong bond over the course of the show's run. And it really started with this episode, Shriek. Now, I remember watching this episode, yes, once again, on CITV, about 100 years ago. And I liked it. It was a very good episode. And I rewatched it again about 5 years ago, back in 2020, when I rewatched the whole series. And it was as good as what I remembered back then. Obviously, there were some parts I didn't remember, but at the same time, this was really good. I really liked this one a lot. And I would say the Shriek episode, it probably isn't as popular as a Rebirth or a Blackout or even a Meltdown. But I would say that this episode, Shriek, was one of the hidden gems for season one and quite underrated. Probably doesn't get talked about that much, but it's still a good, strong episode, in my opinion. So, with that all said, let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into it. Let's watch and talk about Shriek. Here we go. Do 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 do. Woohoo! And here we are. We are off with this episode, Shriek. So, the plot for this episode is Derek Powers, who does make an appearance in this episode, sadly not as Blight. He wants all of the old Gotham knocked down, and Bruce Wayne is trying to oppose it. And Derek Powers, of course, knows how much influence Bruce Wayne has in Gotham with the citizens, and he hires his sound technician, Shriek, to take out Bruce Wayne. And it's very rare that someone wants Bruce Wayne taken out, but this is what happens in this episode. So Derek Powers wants Bruce Wayne out of the way so he can have all of the old Gotham demolished. So interesting plot here. So speak of Derek Powers himself, there he is. We see him in this pitch black room. We don't know where he is, and he hears a train, but it's not really a train. It's a Shriek, able to create the sound of a train. And Derek Powers is just sitting there in fear. So, see, nothing to worry about. Yeah, I knew that. So, there's the Shriek costume. So, this suit of his enables him to, create sound waves of all shapes and sizes, and he's able to crack objects with sound, as you see, just with one dial. You just shatter concrete. So, as I said, it's an interesting gimmick. I want you to solve a problem for me. What? Not what. Who? So this is where Derek Powers has assigned Shriek to more or less take out Bruce Wayne. Yeah, good villain. And here is the board with Bruce Wayne wanting to not have Gotham, or at least the old part of Gotham, demolished. And there's a good reason for that. Is that what we want? Or do we want a city that remembers its ideals? A city where ideas flow from the past. Hmm. The old boy's in rare form today. He's been at it for weeks for me, but it won't last long. It is quite a rare treat to see Bruce Wayne out, especially in daylight. So Bruce Wayne has more or less called for a stockholders meeting to oppose this demolish. Yeah. Meeting adjourned. Dun, 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 dun. I like that little smirk Bruce gives him. Yeah, I've got this. How did it go? The way I wanted. Uh, this scene coming up here is probably one of my favorites of the entire show. So we see Bruce goes to Crime Alley. You know, Crime Alley is of course is where Bruce's parents were murdered, and we see Terry question Bruce about why he wants to keep the theatre, and says to him, "Why would you want to keep this theatre? I mean, it's old. Who cares?" And Bruce, of course, says, "I do." And Terry says, "I would have thought after all these years you would want to finally forget." And Bruce, of course, points out to Terry, "Do you want to forget about what happened to your father?" Wow, powerful stuff here. And here comes another favourite part of this scene. We see Bruce goes to the old police headquarters, which has been closed for years. Damn. And here it comes. Bruce sees the old beat up wanted poster of the Joker. I liked how, you know, the Joker isn't in the show, but there's little reminders that, yeah, he's gone, but he's not necessarily forgotten. So I like that. I'm glad they didn't completely ignore the Joker. There are little clues that, yeah, his presence is still felt decades later. So we see what we think is an earthquake. An earthquake? None like any I've ever been in. Hmm. No man's land, perhaps? I like what Terry says here. Do you know this guy? And Bruce is like, sorry, not one of mine. I love that. Sorry, he's not one of my villains. Yeah. Batman brings the fight to Shriek. Oh, ouch. Right in his hand. That'll come in handy later. So, oh, that's a shame, really. Police headquarters getting demolished like that. Would have liked to seen it kept around. Maybe Bruce could have shown Terry around. Bruce? Mr. Wayne! Wow. So, Bruce is in hospital. I said get out! Oh dear. You can see him if you want to. Can you believe it? They want to keep me here overnight. Why don't you relax a little? In the meantime, I'll find out who our mysterious friend was. So, you're a detective now, are you? I've got, been watching you long enough. I got a lead. Yeah, my man Terry. Batman's everywhere these days. Everywhere. Well, whoop-de-doo. Yep, so Derek Powers is angry that Shreve Didn't finish the job. Haven't you read the papers? Bruce Wayne's in a hospital now with armed guards. There's no way you could get to him in time. Oh, I wouldn't be too sure. Now, over the course of a couple of scenes of this episode, Bruce Wayne starts to hear voices. Obviously, there's a twist to this, but good. Makes you wonder if Bruce Wayne is going mad or not, or maybe he's experiencing early signs of dementia, perhaps, but some powerful stuff. So we see Terry in detective mode here. Um, do the thing where you scan what the object is. Request for special analysis. Yeah, what you said. So Terry's detective in training here. There we go. So he learns the tech is from Wayne Powers. Okay, nice. And the old man thought I couldn't do this stuff on my own. I like how Ace is sitting there watching that. Go on, Terry. Make our old man proud. Yeah. So Bruce is hearing voices. Hmm. You know what you have to do. It's quite dark here. Open the window. Why? Do it. Scary. All these voices. It's quite dark, actually. I forgot about these dark moments. I have often said that Batman Beyond, in some ways, ended up being a much darker show than BTAS/TNBA. There was some pretty dark stuff. And, when you get to season two, it's even more darker, which we will get to eventually. But, wow. The voices in Bruce's head is more or less telling him to commit suicide, which is scary for a kid's cartoon. And Bruce is like telling him this. Do you hear the voices? Maybe you should get back to bed. Here we go. Oh, yeah, you can't keep an old guy down. Wow. So Terry has found Shreve's workshop. Yeah, here's your pizza, Chief. I didn't order any pizza. Oh, never mind. There's a pizza. Too big for one person. Yeah. Shreve's not going to turn down a pizza. There we go. Put it to your ear. Hey, music. It's a radio frequency. No, don't touch that. Oh, interesting. So that's what it does. It cancels all the sound around. Clever. Very clever. No vibrations, no sound. Shway. Hey, what about sound vibrations? Sound vibrations. Oh, here we go. You got knocked out of building. Who are you? Why are you really here? Oh God. Here we go. Ow. Oh. Oh boy. Shriek's going to be shrieking mad now. Here we go. I think Shriek appeared in. Yeah, he did actually. I just remembered. Shriek had a cameo in Epilogue. He was one of the villains the Justice League faced. Okay, so they did bring him back post Batman Beyond. Here we go. Wow, that's a very cool weapon there. And Terry goes to see Bruce at the hospital and he's not there. And he's told that he's in the psych ward, which is code for sectioned. Age can do terrible things to one's mind. Oh boy. Yikes. Think about it. Bruce Wayne is not married, has no children, he has no one. Me. He's got me. Awfully young, aren't you? Awfully slimy, aren't you? Careful. The court is very hot on slander. Yeah, let's see how they handle assault. Oh, love it. You should know something about the psych wards. There's always room for one more. Cool. Wow. So, Shriek's gone mad. You got exactly what you want. Power. Wow. Yeah, Derek Powers was definitely the Lex Luthor of the show. Although, in all fairness, I think Lex Luthor is probably more smarter than Derek Powers, but Derek Powers is no slouch. But I think Lex has got more of the edge. So Derek Powers names him Shriek. Now remember, you still owe me Bruce Wayne. Nice. It's a cool name. It's got a nice ring to it. Not the Sound Man. Here we go. So there's Bruce. Hearing the voices again. Quiet! Oh boy. Quiet. Oh boy. Yeah. Our Batman's here. I've been hearing voices. I know. They think I'm crazy. No! We're not going anywhere until I learn where the voices are coming from. So Bruce obviously suspects something's not right. There we go. And Terry notices the bandage on Bruce's head. Oh, big bandage for such a small wound. Wow. Okay, so Terry really has got his detective head on here. Very cool. Yay! Ace! Miss me, boy. He wasn't the only one. Aww. It's nice to see Bruce smiling again. So Terry has located Shriek. Here we go. Okay. Now this next sequence coming up here is quite unique because I think this is the only thing I can remember where for the next few minutes we had no sound, just music playing, and obviously you can hear the footsteps, but then eventually Shriek cancels that sound out. Oh, here we go. Ding! Here we go. So Terry turns on all the machinery to disorient Shriek. This isn't going to help you. So he just cancels all the sound. Wow. That is so cool. So he's pretty much amplified Terry's feet, so he's able to like track his movements. That is pretty cool, in my opinion. Wow. So he just pretty much cancels all the sound. So virtually, we've just got music playing now. Yeah, quite interesting for a cartoon to do something like this. So it's just able to just do all of this, and there's no sound. Kind of quiet, huh, boy? But you hear something, don't you? Okay. Ace comes to the rescue. Good boy. So he's pretty much muted out Ace's barking. Oh, ow. So it's all the noises all at once, and Shrieks pretty much goes deaf after this. He just hears beep. Ow. Get up. Beep. Oh, wow. So he's lost all his hearing. Ouch. No. No. So after all that, the demolishing of the old Gotham has been opposed. Meeting adjourned. Wow. Okay. This next scene, which is coming up to the end now. Question: how did you know the voices weren't coming from you? Well, first, I'm not psychotic. I hope your next answer is more convincing. And second of all, the voices kept calling me Bruce. In my mind, that's not what I call myself. Oh, yeah, I suppose you would. But that's my name now. Tell that to my subconscious. Love it. And that wraps up my audio commentary watch along for Shriek. Excellent episode, very enjoyable. Loved little callbacks to the old show. You know, Bruce Wayne seeing the Joker poster, going to Crime Alley, the theatre where, Bruce's parents were murdered, the whole sequence with Shriek cancelling out all sound. We just hear only the music. That was a great sequence as well. Derek Powers was at his slimy best. I loved it. It was really good. Ace got to play the hero, save Terry. This was a really good episode. Would I've liked to have seen Blight in this one? Maybe, but I don't think this episode needed a Blight appearance because I feel Blight's big enough for his own episode. So there was no need to have him in this one. But I enjoyed this episode a lot, and Shriek losing his hearing at the end was just like, ouch, very painful. But yeah, this was very good. Really enjoyed this one a lot. I actually remember it more now than I did back then, so this turned out to be a lot better than I remembered. But yeah, great stuff. Very enjoyable episode, and probably the most underrated episode of season one, in my opinion, and certainly the most underrated as well. I don't think this one gets talked about enough, but yeah, this was very good. Really enjoyed this one a lot. So that's going to be it from me. I'm going to wrap this up now. What did you guys think of Shriek? Did you enjoy this episode? What was your thoughts on the villain? Did you like his gimmick? What was your favourite scene? Did you like it when Bruce went to the old police headquarters? And what was your thoughts on Bruce seeing the old beat up Joker Wanted poster. Were you amused by that? And also, what did you think of the whole fight scene between Shriek and Batman with no sound at all? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Batman Beyond review series, where I am going to be providing an audio commentary watch along for another episode from the show's first season, and this time it's going to be a touch of Curari. So make sure you don't miss that. So until next time, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.